Derivan watercolour ground. What is it? How do you use it? Why would you use it? So first up, Derivan watercolour ground is an absorbent primer to then use watercolours predominantly, but not exclusively, over the top of. So you might also want to use mixed media with it or anything really. It gives a slightly different finish to a normal gesso or transparent gesso or grounds that you might otherwise use. Very different in fact, and that's what makes it work so well with watercolours. So one of the benefits of watercolour grounds is that unlike painting watercolours onto watercolour paper, where you're pretty restricted with the size of the papers you can buy, clearly with the watercolour grounds you can paint it onto any size substrate and use that. So you're not limited in size. You're not limited to what you apply it to pretty much as well. So anything that a normal water-based acrylic would adhere to, perspex, glass, wood, anything you can think of pretty well, certainly that an acrylic would normally adhere to, the watercolour grounds will adhere to, and you can then paint watercolours over the top of. So how do you actually use the watercolour ground? Well, it's pretty simple. Depending on the surface that you're looking at using, firstly you want to make sure it's clean. If you're looking at perspex, plastic, glass, surfaces like that, you want to make sure that there's definitely no grease, no release agent, anything like that on there. So clean it down with a damp cloth and make sure it's dry. If you're looking at wanting to work on canvas or board, you may want to put a gesso down first, but you don't need to. You can use the watercolour grounds. And each subsequent coat of the watercolour grounds will give you a slightly different finish as you add the different coats. You may want to sand them and smooth the surface right back, but it will still remain quite absorbent in comparison with a normal gesso. So that's the Derivan watercolour grounds. With its thin viscosity, archival qualities, it won't yellow in time, it's acid free, why not give it a go? Oh yeah, and don't forget to subscribe.